Welcome back to the channel. Ryan here with Saddle Hunter, and today we're going to be breaking down 3 mobile stands by Lone Wolf Custom Gear. Now for this comparison, I've purchased 3 stands, all with the tall seat post and their standard configurations. So we have a 0.5 with the small seat, a 0.75 with the medium seat, and the 1.0 with the large seat. While we're on the topic of seats, let's check out the individual specs on the seat options. Now the small seat comes in at 12.4 ounces, the medium seat at 15.2 ounces, and the large seat at 22.3 ounces without the weight of the seat cushions. The small seat is not equipped with the milled portholes for the sidekick bow mounts. The medium seat is equipped with 6 ports for the sidekick bow mounts, and the large seat is paired with only 4 ports for the sidekick bow mounts. What this tells me from a weight and functionality standpoint, that medium seat is going to offer you the best of both worlds. Now the platforms are offered in 3 different sizes. Now these weights are only for the platform itself. The dimensions are listed for each size. Now the 0.5 platform weight by itself is 3 pounds 9.5 ounces with a platform dimension 23 inches long by 16.5 inches wide. The 0.75 platform weight by itself is 4 pounds 5.4 ounces with a platform dimension of 27 inches long by 16.5 inches wide. And the 1.0 platform weight by itself is 4 pounds 8.7 ounces with a platform dimension of 27 inches long and 19.5 inches wide. Now remember, these weights are based on my home scale, and they include the tall seat post and their hunt ready weights, meaning the weight includes the cam buckle strap, the foam seat pad, and the backpack straps. So if you were to pull it out of the box, everything that comes with it except for the candy, of course, is what you're going to weigh here in this review. So here's the initial differences between each hunt ready setup. The 0.5 versus the 0.75 weight difference is 18 ounces or 1.2 pounds. The 0.75 versus the 1.0 weight difference is only 10 ounces. And the 0.5 versus the 1.0 weight difference is 28 ounces or 1.75 pounds. Here's a look at the stand flex for each setup. For reference, I'm 225 and I have a size 12 boot.
Soundstripe.
Now here's that same look, only now I've added weights to my body to get me close to that 300-pound mark, which is actually the max weight rating for each stand. I call this the Bubba Test. If it's built for Bubba, it's built for me. Here's a look at how the stand sits with the tall seat post for each setup. As you can see, based off my body type and size, you're going to have to determine comfort, overall weight between these stands as they set up, and going to give you more room as you progressively move to the larger platforms. So here's a quick glance at how the stand rides for each setup and the overall profile for each kit. Alright, let's check out the differences between each stand. When pairing the tall seat post with the 0.5, you'll no longer have the option to lock the seat load shelf into the stand due to the tall seat post being longer than the platform itself. If you still want to lock the seat, you can. You just need to purchase a clevis pin to lock it in place. For me, I see this as a loss in functionality, so I would recommend if you're going to go with the 0.5, you may just want to stick with the standard seat post. The platforms now come with an added port for the 14-inch compacts. This is a well-received update for the platform, and this now allows all of their sticks to stow in place. One call out I noticed on the 0.5 is that the cable slots are not cut out on this stand. It appears this issue is only isolated to the 0.5, as the 0.75 and the 1.0 both have the grooves cut out for each stand. The orientation between the 0.5 landing pads for the doubles are different from the landing pads on the 0.75 and the 1.0. I believe this is due to how the doubles nest on the post, so it's just where they fall. So the orientation of the landing pads falls below that crossbar for the 0.5 and above that crossbar for the 0.75 and the 1.0. The downside to the tall seat post is that the doubles do not land on those landing pads for any of the stands. You can still nest them, however they're going to float versus hitting the landing pads as a second point of contact. It's not a deal breaker, but if you're worried about that overall functionality and integration, it may be best to just run the compacts if you choose to go with the tall seat post. With that said, due to the amount of stand configurations between seats, platforms, seat posts, and sticks, you can see where each system has its pros and cons. Okay, so here's a breakdown on the Lone Wolf Custom Gear stand comparison with the tall seat post. Now this is the weight of the stand with each seat, no pad. So this is just taking the total base weight, just the metal by itself. And this is our baseline, right? So like if you were to pull the stand out of the box, right, we have I have these highlighted because these are what's represented in my comparison. So I bought a 0.5 with a tall seat post and a small seat. So this is for this review comparison. I have at 102 ounces or 6.4 pounds. I purchased the 0.75 with the medium seat, and that's 120 ounces or 7.5 pounds. And I purchased the 1.0 with the large seat at 130 ounces or 8.2 pounds. Okay, now you'll see really quick, I do have some other comparisons here. So if you wanted to look at getting into a base weights for each stand plus the seat only, you could see that like for instance a 0.5 plus the medium seat is 104 ounces or 6.5 pounds. So not much there. So if you're looking at it and saying, okay, well, there's only 2 ounces difference, I'm not going to worry about getting that small seat. I'll just jump into the medium. Next is the hunt ready weights in each stand and seat configuration. So what this means is this is hunt ready. So everything in the box included with your kit, which is going to be the cam buckle strap, the seat pad, the backpack straps, hunt ready. It's ready to just go out the door and jump into the woods with. So at a bare minimum, the 0.5 with the tall seat post with the small seat is 122 ounces or 7.6 pounds. And when you look at the 0.5 with the large seat and the large seat pad, and you start looking at the 0.75, there's some comparisons now where weights start getting close again. So there's a 2 ounce difference between the 0.5 with the large seat or the 0.75 with the small seat. So in this example, what do you value more? You can be in the same weight range as the 0.5, but you can get in a larger platform, or you can get in a smaller platform and just have a larger seat. It's up to you. It really depends. For me, if you're already kind of reviewing this then and saying, okay, there's 2 ounces difference between the two. Okay, well, what are the other weights here for comparison? Okay, well, we have the 137.6 for the small, the 143 for the medium, and 150 for the large seat with the 0.5. Okay, so now you're kind of in this 9 pound range, which you'll see there's some carryover here. And oh wait, here we go. The 1.0 is 141 ounces with the small seat. So if you wanted to get into a large platform, it's actually less weight than the 0.75 with the medium seat. So I find that very interesting. And the same applies with the 1.0 with the medium seat. Okay, so you have 147 ounces here. And if you were to get into a 0.75 with a large seat, you're at 150 ounces. So just because you jump into a bigger stand doesn't necessarily mean you're jumping into more weight. And that's the kind of the beauty with this, is now it gains you a little bit more flexibility with what should I hunt with. And hopefully this helps some people out there that aren't really sure on what to get into, because if you're me and everyone else, you're trying to chase this ultra light weight, and everything doesn't come down to weight. Of course, it's nice to be able to shave a pound or 2 off of your setup. Or if you're coming from an old bulky climber that weighs 30 pounds, all of these are going to look lightweight to you. So it really depends on the individual and what you need. For me, I would much rather take a little bit more weight, right? and then have more comfort in the tree with a bigger platform and a bigger seat. So for me personally, when I look at this, I'm 6'2", size 12 boot, 225 pounds. The 0.5 for me it feels small. Can you hunt out of it? Of course. But if I'm looking for a little bit more comfort, I'm going to be jumping into either one of these two setups. And really the eye-opener for me was saying, wow, this 1.0 with this medium seat is looking really attractive, because it's going to offer me the most of the platform space. The medium seat's going to work out just fine, and it's less weight than the 0.75 with the large seat. And you're going to have some people that are going to say, well, you're hunting, you're not supposed to be comfortable. But for me, the big thing is, mentally, I have to be there. And if I'm fidgeting or moving around because I'm uncomfortable, I can't sit still, I'm standing up, I'm sitting down, I'm moving around, I'm not focused on what I should be doing or focused on why I'm there, because I'm spending too much time in my own head on why I can't figure out how to sit still and just pay attention to my surroundings. So for me, like I said, I'd much rather carry the few additional ounces, getting to something a little bit more comfortable for me. And so when I set up that stand and I'm in there hunt ready and I'm getting ready to, sit through a hunt, I'm focused, I'm still, I'm paying attention, I'm on my game. And this is the big benefit on why I wanted to share this comparison with a lot of people, is so that you really understand the different options that you have that are available to you, and then also really see the true comparisons between the actual live weight on what you can expect to see with these tall seat posts as you look to mix and match these seats. Overall, Lone Wolf Custom Gear is taking a whole new approach to the term custom in their name. You now have the advantage and options to pick your poison and what you value in your setup. So anyways, I hope you found this helpful. Please leave me a note in the comments section and let me know what options that you're considering running this fall. Also, with these comparison reviews, what other companies or platforms would you like to see next?